Good morning. This is Mrs. Householder, Assistant Superintendent at the Happy Valley School District. Today we're going to take a look at a slideshow that's going to show the future concerns of establishing a new middle school. We're going to take a look at the closing of Johnson and relocating students throughout the district. We are going to begin our discussion with the issues and future concerns. So stay tuned and take a look at the next slide. Some of the main issues and concerns are listed in the PowerPoint presentation here. The first one is that the building actually that we are closing has been an aged building, and it's also in an area experiencing urban decay. Now, closing this building, you do have students that have been made up of 70% minority. Staffing will be affected, especially the paraprofessional aides and custodians, which are your non-licensed members. The student enrollment, this is an area which in Ohio we have open enrollment. So if we do not have the parent support with this reorganization throughout the district, we may lose several students to other districts due to this. Community support. The community itself may support us, they may not. So that is a future concern. Rerouting of the buses. That is definitely a concern. Some students may end up being on the bus for several hours in order to, go to their new school. Another thing that we want to make sure that we focus on is staff development and training. You are taking a school that's typically K-8, and now you are forming a middle school. So you are going to need to provide staff development and training not only for your certified staff, but also for non-certified employees. One of the main future concerns that I have is with the student enrollment and the staffing. When you are looking at your positions, you need to definitely take into effect that you are going to need the same amount of teachers in order to provide the education for those students. Where you will actually have a lot of rifts occur would be with your paraprofessionals and your teacher aides. Also with custodians. Since we are losing a building and not adding a building to the district, but just kind of relocating the students, we will not need as many custodians as we have had in the past. As for staffing, I definitely look at an intent letter going out to see which members of the union we actually have that would participate in, switching positions or relocating to the new middle school. My next slide actually provides a literature review. I checked out a few different articles that had disadvantages and the advantages of merging schools within a school district. Definitely the advantage is the amount of money that is saved when closing one building and moving students throughout other ones. When we have these buildings that start to age, there comes a lot of financial responsibility with each of them. When you close that building, you then can provide the students with a better facility and also better instructional material and different things along those lines. Some of the disadvantages are the students that are being transferred from that school into other schools. Some of them do have a difficult time adjusting to the new organization of the school. So if you have a school counselor or someone within the district to work with the students to learn to accept one another, to learn to deal with the transition, especially because the school that we're closing has 70% minority, and they are moving into a school that only is 2% minority. So everyone needs to be on the same page when dealing with the different ethnic backgrounds and the way that one another think and get along. So that actually could go for the staff and the students in that situation. The next step was to meet with someone that has actually been through this in the past. I met with Superintendent Dr. T.C. Chapelier. One of the things that he had said was closing a building within a district is never easy, but at times it's very necessary. The reorganization takes a well thought out plan to help with the transition. This occurs actually more than you think when you have older buildings within a district that are costing the district more money to actually maintain. Transportation, student relocation, and staffing are the number one thing you want to look at before making that decision. He personally was part of the closing of Wayne Elementary. What happened at that time was the building itself was costing the district more money to keep open than it was, providing the students with what they actually needed. So when Wayne Elementary closed, the teachers there actually were relocated because the number of students actually didn't change. So the teacher aides at that time, there were several that did actually lose their position and at a later time did find themselves back at the district. However, there were 2 custodians at the time that were RIFed and 1 paraprofessional. So the staffing definitely did take a hit at that point, but the student enrollment stayed the same. So that was one of those positive things with that. However, looking at the 5-year forecast and the plan for their district, Dr. Chapelier said it definitely was the right decision for them, and the district is in a better fiscal state, according to the treasurer for the Indian Creek School District. After talking with Dr. Chapelier, I decided with the action plan, what I would like to do is before this actual consolidation or reorganization, as they like to call it, begins, I would like to host community meetings prior to and discuss with them the plan and the financial state of the district and show that this is the best move for us. That with the area in which the Johnson building is located, it is more feasible for the students to actually relocate than to try to keep that building operating at this point. Also, I definitely would have the existing staff fill out an intent form. There could be possibility of teachers retiring, paraprofessionals retiring, any of the custodians, any of the non-licensed members might have the intent of not returning. That would then help with any decisions with the staff. I would also like to meet with the transportation director and reorganize the bus routes. Take a look at the students and which school building that they would be going in within the district and try to make the bus route as short and as organized as possible prior to the start of the new school year. I would also like to look at the enrollment and decide the need for non-licensed personnel. At times, there is grants that are given to each district that can be used for non-licensed personnel, and I would definitely like to keep as many staff members as possible. I also need to evaluate the need for administrators and where to relocate them. Some administrators might have more experience at the middle school level, which they would provide a lot of great staff development for the reconstruction of the 6, 7, and 8 building. So that would definitely be one of the key items I would be looking for relocating administrators. I would also like to provide staff and students with training and support prior to the consolidation and then actually continue it after and throughout the school year. Maybe do some kind of school bonding activities, getting to know you, just different things that would allow them to kind of keep with the same routine as they've had in the past, but also add a little bit to their daily routine that makes it new and special for them at the new school. But definitely want to make sure that the community, the parents, and the students all feel confident and comfortable in the district's decision on the reconstruction. If you take a look at the references that I am referring to, you can see that there are many articles out there that support the reorganization of the district. There's also lots of articles out there and blogs that talk about the pros and the cons when consolidating within the district. And there's also the Ohio School Board Association. They are discussing and talking about the consolidation and what it does for property value and different things along those lines. When talking with Dr. Chapelier, he did bring up a lot of several great points. In order to keep up with the technology and the 21st century, we really need to take advantage of every penny and every grant and program provided by the state. And if it takes closing a building to provide a better environment and education for our students, then we definitely need to do that and take a look at that. So we will definitely be reorganizing the Happy Valley School District, and we look forward to a new and upcoming year, and we hope that our plan gets put in place and that it's a successful one. Thank you.